She has a big heart, big wings, and a big commitment to restoring the magic to communities. Welcome to the Ferry Godmother Radio Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Ferry Godmother Radio Show. And I have actually been off the air for a little bit of time, trying to get some events planned for the 2016 season. I have to say it's been quite a year. It's been very exciting, and we've had both, some bittersweet things to happen. But I have to say that now we're moving on, and just 2016 is just going to be amazing. One of the things that I've actually been working on for the last year has been a project with Storm King Art Center, which, as you know, is 500 acres, or if you don't know, it's 500 acres of just beautiful open space in Orange County in the Hudson Valley. And so the event is actually called 6 Bands, 6 Genres, 6 Sculptures. So it's all going to happen at the same time. You'll have a variety of music from country to rock and roll, oldies, jazz, Latin, world music. It's just going to be the most amazing thing. So if you have a varied interest, or if you enjoy one type of music and the people that you're with enjoy something different, everybody can go and make a really exciting experience all on their own, if they like to, and also get to really enjoy some world-class art. Some of these sculptures are just massive. And just so beautiful and amazing. I just can't say enough about how beautiful the place is without us. And I think that bringing this component of the music is just really adding just so much more to the whole community, to the area, to the region. So without further ado, I actually want to welcome to our show tonight one of the artists who is going to be performing. Most of you, if you've been a part of the Ferry family for probably more than 6 months, you've actually heard me talk about her. She's been involved with my productions for a lot of years now, and I'm just really excited at this point to actually call her and her husband my friends. So if we can, let's say hello to Gabriele Tranchina. How are you, Gabriele?
Hello, Aquanetta. I'm doing very well, and thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, it's just absolutely wonderful. Like I said, you and your husband have been a part of these concert series that I do for a very long time. And, you guys have just, like I said, have become almost like a real family to me. And so I just love you both so much. I just couldn't imagine, doing anything on this magnitude without you being a part of it, because you both are just great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we do feel the same way about you, and I love all those projects that you always come up with. But this one coming up in June is just going to be extremely exciting, and I'm so happy that I'm part of the pilot program.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's just great. So now you will be a part of the stage that's Latin and world, and I think that you are just amazing. I've talked about this before, that you actually sing in a number of different languages. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
On my most recent CD, which is called A Song of Love's Color and is on the Jazz Head record label, I sing in 5 different languages. But mainly when I do performances, I usually do work in Spanish, Portuguese for the bossa novas and Brazilian music, English and German, and then maybe there's here and there something else. But those are the main languages and French. I do also some French material.
Well, we don't want to leave that out, and the list goes on and on and on. You're just amazing. You really are. So I really want the audience to get to know you. Gabrielle, the performer, the person,
Hmm.
the whole package. So tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and
Hmm.
what sort of started you on the path of singing.
I'm originally from Germany, but
Mhm.
I'm now for many years in the US.
Mhm.
And I started when I started to perform here in the US. I started mainly in the jazz field, but over the years I incorporated other styles of music into my singing, not only because I wanted to explore other possibilities to express myself as a singer, but also because I love music from other parts of the world, and I like to combine it with who I am and merge it together and fuse it. And so something new will happen when you bring your own self to music that you're not born with, or you are trying to adopt to, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, it's probably a difference if, let's say, somebody who grew up in Brazil will do Brazilian music as to me doing it. I'm not sure, but I think it might be a little different situation. The same as
Right.
if I do German material, it feels a little bit different than if I do material in other languages.
Right. No, I mean that's completely understandable. So when you were growing up, did you really know? I'm going to assume that you felt, like you really wanted to be moved by music, obviously. But do you know if maybe an instrument might have been something that you had, picked up first, or really was your instrument from the beginning your voice?
Well, for me, first of all, I came to music and singing relatively late because I grew up in a town that was so small that there was actually very little inspiration around me. When I came to New York, it was just so great, you know. So,
Oh yeah,
well,
New York is great.
when I finished high school, I traveled for a year through Asia, India, and so forth. And a lot of the people that I met whenever there was music making in groups and I participated, they always said I should do something with music. And the deeper I reflected over it, the more I felt like I really love singing. And for some reason I felt like, well, at that time I was so innocent and I thought, well, if I were to start to become whatever, an architect or something, I would have to start also only after that age, after 20. And I thought I'm just going to do and go for the music. So I didn't know how hard it would be, but it took me many years to really be comfortable and really professional and versatile as a vocalist. It was a long road, but in a way, it's a lot of fun because when you do something as an adult, you can actually enjoy the process on a whole other level. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very grateful that I actually went this route, and I can say that all my life at the moment is circling around music, and I'm grateful to have it in my life.
Well, the one question I know that we didn't talk about before is the last time I interviewed you on the show is to talk a little bit about your husband Joe, and
Mhm.
he is an amazing keyboardist, and I laugh with Christopher Dean Sullivan because it seems as though they really kind of like this music called outside or something. It's
Mhm. Yeah.
very non-scripted, and I want to sort of line it up with freestyle, so to speak.
Mhm.
And they both of them seem to really, really enjoy that style of music. But
Mhm.
in terms of you and Joe, how did you guys meet? And was it a match made in heaven because you were both, musicians in your own right, and it just felt good because he could really support you, and you could support him. So how did you
Mhm.
guys meet? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Um, when I was relatively new in New York, I was invited by a friend to go to a jam session, and a singer was running it, and she was very open to having other singers sit in that jam session.
Mhm.
And I became very friendly with her, and she gave me voice lessons, and we got together many times and listened to music forever together. We
Mhm.
became really good friends. And she once told me that she's going to see a friend perform, and if I wanted to join her, and I did, and the friend was Joe. And
Oh.
then I started to use him to work on my repertoire and learn and make sure that the songs that I selected for my repertoire were in the right key and that sort of thing. And when I worked with Joe, we connected on a deep level, and
Aw.
it didn't take long. We were a couple very quickly. So that
Okay.
was the story. And as to I think that Joe is a very versatile musician, and he is really good working with vocalists, but he also loves to just do instrumental music. So we
Mhm.
both have our own lives. He works with a lot of other people,
Right.
and he works also with a group that is called Inner Route,
Mhm.
and they just had a new CD out on with that band, and had some nice CD release events, and that is more or less totally improvised music.
Mhm.
Um,
I was gonna ask you
so
that.
that is
What kind of
free.
music? Mhm.
Well, when you say everything is improvised, it means that there is no chord structure. Like, let's say, if I were to do a song like, let's say, Happy Birthday to You,
Mhm.
then Happy Birthday to You has a certain melody,
Right.
and it has a certain chord structure and form. So if you want to improvise over it, you could vary on the melody. That would be a
Right.
simple thing. Or if you wanted to improvise on a deeper level, you could just use the chord structure and create a completely new melody, which is a completely different kind of improvisation.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
you I Then, if you wanted to go even further away from this, you could just improvise on the form of the song and not stick to the structure of the chord changes. And then, if you wanted to be completely free, you kind of have to pick up. That is a lot what Chris and Joe do. They come up with a musical idea, and then the other musicians are tuning in to whatever musician started the idea, and then they develop it together, and it goes through all kind of different ways, and somehow it also ends at one point. It's just a matter of being completely in touch with one another. I think it's
And,
it's
and
a
they're
it's
good
a
at that.
beautiful.
They're
Hmm?
good. They're actually really good at that. I've had the
Yes,
opportunity to hear Joe and bass, Joe and bass, Joe
Joe and
Joe and
Chris.
Chris.
Good one.
Oh God. To
And
actually
with
yeah.
Joe or with Chris, I can also do certain things that would be completely freely improvised. But I don't do it all the time. But I can go there if I want to and if I choose to. And it's
So
fun. But I
yeah,
feel always it's got to be fun for the audience as well, and to
and
have
which
them
is
be part of
important.
the process.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm?
it's got to be important. So let's spend we got a couple of more minutes. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about what it's like to work with an incredible artist, Bobby Sanabria. And for most people who are not into Latin music, you may not know that he is like the who's who of the Latin music world. So, so Gabrielle, tell us a little bit about Bobby, and how did you get hooked up with him, and
Mhm.
what that's like to play with like such, really, to have on speed dial such an incredible artist.
Mhm. Well, Joe and Bobby know each other for a very, very long time. Really long. I don't even know how many years, but it's probably way over 30 years that they know each other.
Wow.
And they have worked on different instances with one another. And when I decided I wanted to go more into doing more Latin music, I said to Joe, I think I want to call Bobby Sanabria up. And Joe said, well, Bobby Sanabria is famous now. He's already nominated for ever so many Grammys, and I don't know if he even has the time to work with us and so forth. And I said, look, all he can do is say no. And I called him and I asked him if he would like to work with us, and he said yes. And that has been a working relationship now for at least 7 years, I think, if not more. So
I know it's a long time because
it's a
Bobby.
long time.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention that Renato Toms, who we use on percussion whenever we can have a percussionist on the bandstand, is also extremely talented. He has also worked with the best Latin jazz artists on the scene at the moment. But he has not been a leader. So if he had won a Grammy, it was always through other projects, but not through his own.
Right.
And so is our bassist, Andy Ulau. So I can call myself fortunate to have really very, very talented musicians with me on the bandstand, and that, of course, raises the bar, and it grants that we can give an audience a performance that is on a very high level. And if everybody who is listening and tuning in, if you come to the Storm King Arts Center on June 11th, you will be able to be part of to listen to such great music, and not only performed by us, but also by 5 other bands and 2 main acts later on the main stage. So it's going to be a very, very exciting event.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm telling you, I'm holding on. I'm holding on to my chair because, I'm just so excited about, again, like you were saying, the quality. One of the things that has been, sort of my thing is that people have always enjoyed my shows over the last 10 years because I bring such high quality. And you guys fit right into that. And, all that you've ever done with me, I just love you guys. I appreciate you. And, I'm really looking forward to this thing on June 11th. So, I'm going to actually wrap it up right now.
Mhm.
I'm going to make sure that everybody can stay connected with you. I will be putting your information on my website so that people can click onto your site and actually hear
Connect with
more
me.
and hear more,
Mhm.
see more of what you
And I'm
do.
also on Facebook, and if anybody wants to befriend me, I'd be happy to chat with you on Facebook too,
Okay. All
or
right.
Twitter.
All righty, and Twitter. Well, we're gonna keep you connected, that's for sure. So
Yes.
again, I want to thank you so much for coming on our show, and I look forward to just having a really great time with you guys at the Storm King Art Center on June 11th. So
Yes. And I wanted to also mention that if you are looking for us at the Storm King Art Center, we will be on the north side in front of a beautiful big red sculpture, and we are hoping that the sculpture is going to inspire us to just tune into what the artwork is about and perform music that is in relationship to our environment that we are going to perform with.
I got a feeling it's going to happen.
Okay. And I have that feeling too. And I want to thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait for this wonderful event.
Absolutely. All right, sweetheart. You take care. I'll see you guys real soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We can't wait to see you next time right here on the Ferry Godmother Radio Show, where we are restoring the magic to life and play.